Smile, meet, chat, join for networking. Smile, meet, chat, join for networking.
Hello there, welcome along. This is For Networking TV. It is programme number 4 and it's great to have your company. I'm just Steve Hyland, but this is the man of the moment. It is Mr. Brad Burton.
What a build-up. How you doing, Steve? You're right.
I'm doing okay.
We're back, which is great.
It's fantastic. Here we are once again, another great show lined up, and we've also got another special guest with us as well from AS Robbins. It is Liz Robbins. Great to have you with us as well.
Thank you for having me.
Our Liz.
Yeah, our Liz indeed. Now you may have met Liz in the past. We're going to be talking to her a little bit later on the programme. Great show lined up for you today, giving you some insight into what For Networking is all about and how you can utilise it and maybe maximise your business, get more of a return for the bucks that you spend when it comes to using For Networking and going along to the meetings. Very enjoyable, but remember, this is all about business. Brad, great to have you back. Lots of news taking place in For Networking, hasn't there?
Certainly, Steve. We've just had our Area Leaders Conference, which is our regional team, where they all come together over in the Wolverhampton. And amazing. We've got some new initiatives, including the new For Networking website. So in the next 3 weeks, we're going to be seeing a new For Networking website and one which finally you can use on mobile phones. So that's coming. And we've also got the TBNS, the Business Networking Show. This has been the second year of running the show, and it's taking light. You know, you never know in these situations.
Well, I remember last year, you sat back for a moment, and you actually were on Business Connections Live, and you said to me, there were moments when we were looking through the round hole.
But, we were 3 weeks out last time, and I'm going, should we pull it? And as it happened, we ended up about 750 people. This time out, we've sold 200 tickets now with another 3 months to go. You know, this is a runaway. One of the interesting developments we've got with the Business Networking Show is we've got Chris Ducker. He's an internet marketing genius, massively known over in the States. He's actually based in the Philippines now. He's flying over for the show. So we've got Chris Ducker. Do Google him. You'll see exactly what the real powerhouse. And what we've done with the show is we've got the best speakers in the UK. So normally these shows are, when you've got these amazing speakers, they're always in London. We've brought it to the Midlands, so that appeals to people north, east, south and west.
When people go along, if they didn't go along to the show last year, I mean, we were there. We had a fantastic day. I think we did something like 40 individual interviews with people. It was just a phenomenal day.
Sure.
As you would say, it was an awesome day when we were up there. And we're looking forward. We're doing it again this year. We're going back and doing a live stream from the program, a live program from there. If you are, though, a small, medium-scale business, if you're a 4N member, if you're a networking member somewhere, what do you get out of going to TBNS?
What we've done with TBNS, we're bringing all the networks together. So not only have you got the likes of BNI, NRG, and all the other networks, we're bringing them all together. So it's not just a single policy, almost a network. You've got all these networkers from all different affiliations coming together. Where it gets really interesting is what we bring with TBNS is that energy. We bring the energy. So it's not just a normal business show. It's networking show. So there's real opportunities to get involved in networking. We've got speed networking on the day, we've got networking events on the day, and even better, if you are a For Networking member, you get 20% off your stand. So do give us a call if you are interested, and do quote that you're a For Networking member to get 20% off. That's a real 20%, Steve, by the way.
A proper 20%?
Proper 20%,
not
absolutely.
Not pretend 20%.
No, that's right, it's a real one.
When people go along to the likes of shows like that one, what should they expect from their business point of view? We've got the big bump table that's going to be there, but what else can they get out of it?
You know, this is the key with networking, you just don't know. See, if you go there with networking with preconceptions, I'm actively looking for solicitors. Are you a solicitor? No, I'm not. Okay, well, in which case, not interested. You don't know. It's not the person you're talking to, it's all the people they know. What I would say is this, unless you've got something better to do on the 18th of September, clear your diary down, get to TBNS.
It is a fantastic show if you do get the opportunity to go along to it. It is the Business Networking Show, abbreviated of course to TBNS 2015. That's what you're going to find on Twitter and the likes like that. Do follow the show. We'll be talking all about it. The different guests will be coming on as well, so do watch out for that as well. That's going to be TBNS 2015 this year in Wolverhampton at Wolverhampton Racecourse. Also, if you want to find out more details, simply go along to the For Networking HQ. You can follow everything that's happening within the business simply by going to that web address and that Twitter feed. By the way, Liz,
Yes.
I mean, I'm not going to have you sitting there all the time because we're going to get on to talk to you a little bit later on, but did you come along to the show last year?
I didn't come along to the show last year, but I'm there this year with a stand.
Ah, there you go.
Via
20%
Forum.
discount. 20% discount. There you go.
Absolutely, I will be there.
What when you go to business shows like
Yes.
that, what do you think you get out of them?
For me, it's meeting new people. Meeting new people, seeing new products, seeing what competition I have, seeing my competitors, and definitely just meeting new people and hopefully meeting new accountants that I can work with.
That's what she's after. Liz is after accountants. She's actively looking for accountants on a national level. So something like this is perfect because you're based over in North London, so you'll meet all the accountants around there. But on a national level, you know, how are you going to meet somebody from Manchester? How are you going to meet somebody from Cornwall? How are you going to... The business networking show.
Well, what we'll do, we'll come back and we're going to talk a little bit more to you about the whole concept of why you're a member of For Networking, what you get out of it, because you've been involved with other networking of, companies and organisations. And it's
Absolutely.
really, I think what's nice about this programme, it gives an opportunity to explore the differences and explore the true benefits of being a member of For Networking. So we'll be talking to you a little bit later on. Any other great news coming along? For Networking TV seems to be growing on a daily basis. Getting more complicated.
Well, it is getting more complicated, but this is the thing, you know, we run For Networking TV, so we can do whatever we want with it. And what we've been doing is listening to your feedback. And you guys were saying, you know what, why don't you shake it up with an Ask Me Anything? Which, if you don't know about Ask Me Anything, it's the modern day Q&A. And that's what we've been doing today, Steve. We've been fielding questions from For Networking members and people outside the network who've been giving us questions. And I don't actually know what these questions are just yet.
Tell you what, he will do later on. We've got some real humdingers there as well. So stay tuned for that. If you are watching for the first time, it's great to have your company. If you are a For Networking member and you've been going to your meetings up and down the country, it's great to know that you're watching today as well. I think before we've got a little bit of VT to come up, but what's interesting about it is that For Networking does stand a little bit, it differentiates itself from the different networking organisations, doesn't it? Yeah. When people go along to it, it's that kind of choice that they're looking at. Tell us a bit about the choice.
We know with For Networking, we've got over 5,000 events that we run across the UK every single year. And what we wanted to do with For Networking is be fundamentally different. When I started my business off 10 years ago, I run a marketing business and I needed appointments. And I also needed to be able to work my networking around my schedule. That's what we've done with For Networking. We've created this entire network that not only allows you choice about where you go, who you speak to, who you attend, it's also choice about what you do when you're there. So For Networking is fundamentally different. We've got the passport, we've got all the groups, and we've got the online. So it's just fundamentally different. And it's almost, dare I say it, British-based, British-born. We understand what Britain's business needs, and that's what For Networking is about. It's about choice for you.
I tell you what, it's all about choice. Have a look at this.
One thing I like about For is the flexibility that it has, because you're not committed to go in any particular group. You decide what group you want to go to and you just book yourself on.
I really love 4N because I can go to lots of different groups.
It's incredibly flexible compared to other networking groups because you can go to one of 5,000 meetings anywhere in the country.
As a Passport member, you can attend any of the groups that happen throughout the week.
You can work it around your schedule, you can work it when you want to, you can get up in the morning, just head off to a meeting, book in online, and you're there.
It's really flexible to fit in with my diary, which changes week to week.
I can go to any meeting, anytime. It's really good.
You can go for lunch and you can go for evenings, so you can make a whole day of it if you want to.
You choose the meetings, basically. It's completely within your control.
It's fun, it's semi-formal and it's productive.
What a great video that is. That's Thunder and Lightning actually put that together. Are they a For Networking member?
as you'd expect, Steve. We only
Or
work
was that a stupid question?
No, well, listen, we only work with 4 networking members, and it's funny because what happens is I get inquiries and people say, hey, guess what, we'd love to work with you as an organisation. Honestly, with thousands of members that we've got around the UK, why would we go outside the network? We only work with 4 networking members, and I've got to say, what Paul did and his team with Thunder and Lightning, exceptional with those videos, exceptional, and we're going to see another one later.
And I think the nice thing about it as well is they actually do truly show you the complete sphere of everything that 4 networking can actually do for you and your business. Talking about businesses, Liz Robbins is with us. We've already introduced her. She's still here. She hasn't run away yet. AS Robbins.
Yes.
Who are AS Robbins then? What do you lot do?
We do payroll for small to medium-sized businesses, and we white label for accountants.
What more do you need to do? There's the ad, over and done with.
Liz,
you asked me the question.
Let me ask you this question. How long, well, you initially came to, we're just talking off camera, you initially came to 4 Networking in 2009?
Yeah.
Visited 3 times?
Yep.
Didn't join us?
Didn't join you.
Why was that?
It just wasn't the right time for me. I was building the business, building AS Robbins, which was Elizabeth Robbins before that, and I just didn't have the time.
You know, the thing is with this, is there's always with 4 Networking, it's, as we talked about, choice. You know, you can drop in, you can drop out, and it's great. So that was 2009, and then you joined us, properly joined us.
A year ago, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
And your groups, which you go to?
We go to Finchley, and I help out the Cot Fosters one that's been open.
So you've actually got very heavily involved with it. Well, I think what was interesting talking to you before we came on air was the fact that you've had experience of other networking groups,
yes,
and successful
yes,
experience from
absolutely,
other networking groups.
Absolutely.
Do you think that for networking and, you know, as one resource, using it with other resources like the BNI, like that, leading on nicely, but you know, using other groups, do they complement each other? Do you
Absolutely. I don't think there's any bad networking. For me, you're always networking. Right. I was on holiday a few weeks ago, and I met a 4N networker, and I meet BNI networkers and all sorts of networkers that there's just no bad networking, I believe.
You know what I like about that? You know, clearly I'm biased, right? I've got to be, right? Managing director, right? But you've just talked off camera about your success that you've had with the likes of BNI. Do you have to, as a BNI member, do you have to have a different rule, but when you come to 4 Networking, is it the same approach that works? Do you see what I'm saying? I'm
always the same. Wherever I go, I'll walk into a room and I'll talk to everyone, and I want to know about their business. I want to know about them. I love meeting people, and I love people. And to network, I think you should always be the same.
Good stuff.
I'm able to be the same wherever I go, so I don't have to.
Tell us about your business then. So your business has been going for how long?
My business, I've been running a business for 16 years now.
How do you make networking work for you then? What are the key things that you do when you go to either a 4 Networking event or a BNI?
4 Networking for me, I can go to all different groups so that I can meet new startup accountants, so that I can introduce myself to help them develop their new business, because they shy away from what I do. So
and do you have a technique that you use? Are there key things that you probably do it naturally? And I think a lot of people will do this, will network naturally. Then there's a lot of people who don't have a clue or misunderstand what networking's about.
I find that I just like to find out about them and their business, which naturally then they'll ask me about mine. So I think it's really important to ask questions about you and not always about me.
And would you say be yourself?
Oh, you have to be yourself, because really no one buys my product, because a lot of people can do what I do, they buy into me. So they're not buying my actual product.
What about sales from your point of view? Have you seen a positive difference by going to 4 Networking on your sales?
Oh yeah, definitely, because with 4N, because I can go to all different groups, I have met all different people. So with being able to, you know, spread myself more, definitely my sales have increased by going to 4N.
See, that's the thing with this whole ability to be able to, what we talked about earlier, choice, to go wherever you want and work it around your schedule. You know, Liz isn't geographically bound. You can find accountancy you're after on a national level. Wouldn't make no difference. That's the beauty with something like 4 Networking, is that The truth, that was by accident as opposed to design, if I'm really honest, because we never used to have the passport system. The passport, which allows you to go to any group, it was a complete accident. Back in the day, we had 5 groups and somebody said, oh, I'd like to go to 3. And we said, oh, you can't do that, you can only go to 1 group. And it was born by accident. And some of the best business ideas are born by accident.
And it goes to show you as well, and it's interesting as well what you said about sales, because at the end of the day, we can enjoy what we do, but if we don't generate sales, well, then it's just a waste of time for everybody, isn't it? And that's what For Networking is all about. It's all about sales for your business.
I get probably about 85% of my work through 4N. My marketing budget is my 4N fee.
Well, I've got a number of clients that are ongoing, so yeah, I've definitely made more money than I've spent on 4N.
I did £180,000 in my second year of trading with 4N, my second year of being a member of 4N. To be honest with you, it is actually 70% of our business.
I've already got some people trying products, but I've got a couple of people who are also interested in the business. I think it's about that give and take. I've been able to utilise and refer a lot of people, even externally, to 4N.
My business is built around 4N. I would say 95% of my work come through referrals, and at least 75% of that comes from 4N.
It takes a while, you can't expect it to happen straight away, but sales will come through, and it's starting to now with me, and my bottom line's much better than it was, so yeah, it's working for me.
Once again, thanks to Thunder and Lightning for that great video production as well. And it really does give you an insight into what For Networking is all about. Liz is still with us. You could probably just see that a moment or so ago. And we're going to be opening up the decks a little bit now, because we've got some questions that have come in from For Networking members to Brad specifically. But what we'll do, I thought, was maybe we'll just open the table up. And if you've got comments as you're here as well, that would be fantastic, because I think it's interesting. You've got one insight and then your insight as a For Networking member. So let's stick the first one up then on the screen. What we got here. What one thing had the biggest impact since launching For Networking, Brad?
A great question. Great question. I would say the passport. I say the passport that we've got, this ability to go any For Networking group around the UK, so unique. It's a bit like, you know, when you have a PC and it's not internet connected, how lonely it feels after you played Minesweeper. Well, that's what I think all networking is a bit like that. And now what we've done is connected it. So I think definitively the passport has been exceptional. And like I say, it was a fluke. It wasn't intended to be there. It was just we just landed lucky.
And Liz, you actually use that facility within For Networking, don't you?
Yeah.
As a business then, does it really aid you to go from networking event to networking event, where it gives you an opportunity to actually say, look, here we are, here's what we do, here's how we can benefit you?
Oh, absolutely. For me to just tell different people, different groups, and new businesses what we do, it's perfect.
See, I don't think there's any downside. This is the thing, what's great about that, Steve, is it's not, you can go to as many as you want. So you can go to 5 groups, you can go to 1 group, you can go to 100 groups. It's down to you. It goes back down to the choice thing that we talked about before. So we are not pushing on anyone that you need to go passport in anywhere beyond your region or your national level. You do what you want, and that's a great thing. So say you're based over in London and you've got a meeting in Manchester, then arrange your meeting in Manchester for midday, go to For Networking in the morning, then go to your thing. So you use your petrol twice and use your costs. It's genius, if I say so myself.
The pair of you, what do you think is the optimum amount of networking you should do?
Me, I would say as much...
Well, you're there all the time. You're networking all the time.
I go in ebbs and flows in that, actually. Sometimes I'll be doing 4 a week, and sometimes I won't be doing any in a fortnight. So I think, for me, where networking is what you shouldn't do is take your foot off the gas with networking. So you get to a situation where you think, hey, guess what? Everything's great. I'm doing really well in my business. I don't need networking anymore. Because what happens is this: the next time that somebody turns up for your services and you're not there, if there's a competitor who is there, then the likelihood is, oh, Liz isn't there, I'll use that person. So as much as is appropriate, that's what I'd say, Liz.
Yeah, I personally think that you should always be networking. Okay, you might not go for a couple of weeks or 3 weeks, but between 1 and 3 networking events a week on a good week, you know, Yeah, 1 to 3 definitely.
There's going to be
On a
people
good
watching
week.
that are going to be sort of saying, well, that's all very well. I've gone along to a few networking events. I've seen nothing come back yet. Do you have to invest a certain amount of time before you start to see the return, do you think?
I think this is a situation where you have to be there. You have to be networking fundamentally for it to work. If you've not got time to invest because you're too busy doing other stuff, then it isn't going to work for you. And that's the reality of it. There's no point in me blagging you and lying to you and going, yeah. Nah, you have to be there. You have to be it's a contact sport. You've got to get involved. It does take time. And fundamentally, one of the things that I talk about in my books, which are available at all good bookstores, but one of the things that I talk about in my books is this whole piece about, would you pass a lead, a referral, a job, a contact to someone you don't like, someone you don't know, someone you don't trust? And of course not. So on that basis, the reason that people pass you leads, referrals, jobs and contacts, are they like you, they know you, they trust you. Don't expect others to forgo the same checks that you're doing.
Interesting. If you are trying to figure out how you should be getting and maximise your return on networking, honestly, a lot of people don't get it. And if you're a new business owner, you probably won't be getting it as well. Or maybe you think you are. There is a great book out. It is Networking for Dummies.
Business networking.
Yeah, business networking for dummies by our old buddy. He's going to be one of the keynote speakers at the Business Networking Show in Wolverhampton, Stephen Thomas. If you want to get hold of a copy of that book, you'll find it on Amazon. That was a bit of a plug. He likes all that, doesn't he?
Big time master.
See, there we are. And of course, on the last show, we waved him goodbye.
Absolutely, but he's not gone. He's still consoling for us.
Like a boomerang, isn't he? Or a bad penny. He's going to keep coming back. All right, let's go on to the next question that we've got for you. What would have been your plan B? Here we go. Knowing what you know now, what would you have done differently?
You know, a mistake is only a mistake after the event. Up until that point, it's the correct decision. So nobody, including me, wakes up and goes, I'm going to go make a mistake today, but occasionally I do. Hindsight is so wonderful, and in business you shouldn't beat yourself up for any mistakes or things that haven't gone your way. I wouldn't change a single thing, because you just don't know what could have happened if I would have changed certain things. I'm delighted with the way that things have turned out, and I don't believe, I believe I've made something quite reasonable with very little, to be honest, with myself as an individual. So I'm perfectly comfortable with the mistakes that I've made in the past. Genuinely. It's your answer, because it was your question that was sent in directly to you. Let's ask you another one. This is our next question. This is one I was about to ask you. What have been your plan B of the career if the winds had changed? I mean, you've always talked to me and said, if you have a plan B, then you don't have the right plan A. You know what, I've got to say, given that we're filming, this is tricky. This is really tricky.
What would you have liked to have done? What other aspirations would you have had?
I didn't, because I locked myself into this thing. I genuinely didn't have a plan B. I had to make this work. I had no wriggle room for this not to work. And I say this in business.
But your background's marketing, isn't it?
My background's pretty eclectic, Steve. I think that's a fair assessment. Exactly. But no, my background is everything. I've been a doorman, I've been a chalet cleaner, I've washed cars for a living, I've worked in retail. I've done all these kind of things, and this whole melting pot came together. And that's why I think for networking works so well, is because I'm every man, and I realise what it's like to be every man, and that's what I wanted. I wanted a network that would work for every man. So I know it sounds like I'm not answering the question, but I genuinely couldn't think beyond this, and even now I can't think beyond it. For networking is my life. I've invested so much into it, and it's an extension of my family. And people who are in for networking will probably get that. People outside of for networking will go, what's he on about? But honestly, it's an extension of my family, it really is.
What about you, Liz? Did you have a plan B?
Did I have a plan B? No, again, I fell into what I'm doing. Yep. Yeah, I fell into what I'm doing. I was very lucky. I was given an opportunity by an accountant, fell pregnant, carried on doing payrolls from home, and then started my own business doing payrolls from home.
But we must point out, it's not compulsory to get pregnant.
No, you don't have to.
You can start a business without getting pregnent.
But
Rumour has it.
How amazing for me to grow a business when I started a family.
Can I just say something about for networking again? It's half term last week. I took my boys to a for networking. My boys are 7 and 11. We took them to a for networking meeting. As a network, we allow our members to bring their children, their well-behaved children, to a network. Have you ever done that? Have you ever brought your kids?
I've taken my youngest to a couple of networking events. Yeah.
But that kind of leads on to the next question that I've got here. Just make certain. It says, if you didn't have your take kids to Disney motivation, what would motivate you when times get tough? What is the thing that picks you, the pair of you, what picks you up when you're thinking, do you know what? This is all going horribly wrong at the moment.
And it does go horribly wrong, doesn't it, as a business owner?
How did you get through that?
I think that you just have to work hard. Nothing is going to be given to you on a plate, ever. And if you haven't got that motivation in you, no one's going to give it to you.
Right.
So you have to have something inside you to say, I am not going to lose my house. I'm not going to not be able to put food on my table tomorrow.
What are the things in your business that you hate doing but you have to do to make it successful?
Networking.
No, I love networking.
All of it?
No, even if there's a problem at work, I like to find a solution for everything. There's always a solution. And you have to find a solution.
Always.
There's not, if someone says, but I can't. No. Don't come to me with I can't. Come to me with a solution. And if it means, I have to go to 5 networking events a week.
5 networking? What's this?
Is that a new idea?
Yeah.
Write that down. 5 networking TV.
Going on to this Disney motivation, my motivation is to take my children to Disney World because, I promised them when they was kids that I would do that. And this has always kept me focused. And as you people who know me know that I've wanted to quit about 10 times in the last 10 years. And that, taking my children to Disney, I know that if I can do that I'm keeping myself together. So it's funny, these questions, right? I'm answering them by saying I'm doing nothing differently because I'm so focused on these motivation and these things. I'm tuned into all this. It's funny because by asking me these questions, I'm questioning myself and going, what would my motivation be? That's it. I can't move off that line. And this is, I think, what an entrepreneur should be about, is somebody who's unwilling to move from a line that you've got to almost be stupid and almost misguided at times, which is, people have said I've been misguided. And if you look at what I've done with 4 Networking and look at all my other businesses, is when I started 4 Networking, people said I'm mad. Oh, Brad, you're mad. Fast forward 10 years, I'm now in the double page spread in the Times, front page of magazines, Brad Burton, business genius. So somewhere along the way, you've got to be mad before you can break through.
Okay, question to both of you, but I'm going to start with you, Liz, first of all. Should I join 4 Networking or BNI?
Seriously.
You've had experience of both.
You can't answer that. That's just rude.
Okay.
Well, you can't answer
No.
that.
For me, when I started my business, I joined BNI, and BNI helped me to talk to people, to network, to stand publicly and speak. And I was able to sit in a room and pick out from those other businesses that I'm sitting in, to build my business. So and 4M for me is about choice. So if I want to go on holiday for 6 months of the year, I can still belong to 4M.
It's a really unfair question, I think. Genuinely, it's an unfair question.
To who?
No, just to Liz. I think principally, she's involved in both networking organisations, and actually, if she's involved in both networking organisations, guess what? She obviously gets value from it. I'd say 4 Networking, of course, I'm biased, but what I would say, and reaching out to BNI right now, is that actually what we're trying to do at the moment is on a national level, is to try get a dialogue with you guys and actually see if we can do anything on a national level, because this whole networking scene is tiny, and it could be a whole lot bigger. Because if I think about some of the, from what I understand, there's like 2.5 million people running businesses at the moment. Every single of those people, the small businesses, should be involved in networking. So I don't know. For me, the horses and courses, it's a bit like saying to someone, do you like Man United or do you like Arsenal? You're always going to have reasons behind it. But for me, I'd say 4 Networking, of course.
There we are then. All right then, 4 Networking. Last question, actually, surprisingly, and let's see how we get on with this. There's only a bit of the question on the screen, but it says here, I've heard you say, Brad, that business success and personal well-being is a lot like sailing to 2 separate islands. Do you believe there is such a thing as a healthy work-life balance, and do you use any techniques?
Okay, so great question, by the way. I mean, the people who are responsible for this, thank you. So 3 years ago, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being happy, 1 being not happy, I was probably a 3 out of 10. But I was a whole lot more successful in business barometer, whether it's making more money. There's all these factors as to what people would say define success, and I was more successful. But actually, internally, I wasn't right. Now, I'm a whole lot happier, making a bit less money, but I'm a whole lot happier. This is what I'd say to you. You've got to ask this question to yourself. Recently, Charlie Kennedy gone, right? 55. That's him done, over. He never, the day before, thought, I'm not going to wake up tomorrow. You just don't know the day. We just don't know the day, any of us. And what I would say is enjoy every single day. That's the key to this. Don't take today for granted. If I was selling extra days of your life for £1,000, how many would you want? And the answer is people go, oh, none. If you knew you only had one day left, how many would you want? You'd want as many as you could afford. That says to me that today is as valuable as the last day of your life. The thing is, we take it for granted. I've stopped taking life for granted right now. And, you know, a friend of mine said, oh, I've moved my home office out the home and I'm back in the office you know, to save my marriage. And I said, you know what, I've moved my office into home, because the key to this thing is actually once I finish working, I'll go down and see the kids. So it's taken me 9 years of running a business to get to a point where I've got balance in my life. So initially you have to go really deep into the well. You really have to invest so much that you creaking, which is what happened to me. So I've got work-life balance finally after 9 years, but I couldn't have got it any earlier.
Very briefly, in 10 seconds, what about work-life balance for you, Liz?
Very important to be at home with the kids while they're growing up, and as well to work as much as I can. I enjoy both, so I'm very lucky.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's been an absolutely cracking show as always. Thank you very much, Liz, for coming and telling us a bit about the benefits of 4 networking as you see it, and also telling us about the business. Quick reminder once again about your business. It is
AS Robbins LLP. We're based in Finchley Central, and we help small to medium-sized businesses with their payroll and auto-enrolment needs.
And Brad, a final word from you to shut the programme.
Thank you for the questions. Really thrown me. The first time I'd seen them. You know, if you do want to get hold of me via Twitter, that's my primary network. Find me at Brad Burton, and I'll see you at TBNS or on the 4 networking circuit.
We look forward to it as well. Listen, till the next time, till the next edition of 4 Networking TV. Take care of yourself. Successful business out there. Make certain that networking is working for you. And don't forget that special offer as well when it comes to TBNS. If you are a 4 Networking member and you want to stand there, you're going to get what?
20%. If you're a Passport member, you've got to be a Passport group member. You will get 20% off. I'm looking at the camera. You will get 20% off your 4 Networking. Off your TBNS stand. So that can save you 50 quid for a basic stand. Amazing.
From all of us here today, thank you very much indeed for watching. We'll do it all again next month. Until the next time, bye for now. Bye-bye.
Smile, be, chat, join 4 Networking. Smile, be, chat, join 4 Networking.